Let's be real. For most of us, rent is the single biggest check we write every single month. It's a constant. But what if it wasn't? There's a new payment option that's shaking things up, promising a little breathing room right when you need it most. So today, we're going to break down buy now, pay later for rent and figure out if it's a genuine financial lifeline or a really well-disguised trap. I mean, just pause and think about that for a second. Your biggest bill, the one that kind of hangs over your head at the end of every month, what if you could just push it back a bit? It sounds amazing, right? And that tempting idea is the core promise of a service that's getting a ton of attention. All right, so let's get into what this thing actually is. What is buy now, pay later for rent? Well, it's pretty simple, really. A different company, a third party, steps in and pays your landlord the full rent amount for you right on time. Then you owe that company the money back, usually in a few installments or all at once in a few weeks. Basically, you can think of it as a super short-term loan that's just for your rent. Okay, so what's the big deal? Why is this getting so popular? Well, it all boils down to that incredible promise of convenience, that feeling of getting some immediate relief from financial pressure. Let's dig into why it's just so tempting. You know how it is. Life never really sticks to a perfect financial schedule. Maybe your paycheck is a few days late, or bam, an unexpected car repair or a medical bill just wipes out your bank account. For students and young professionals, man, managing cash flow can feel like a constant juggling act. In those moments, the chance to just punt the rent payment down the road feels like a massive weight being lifted right off your shoulders. And the process itself, it looks incredibly easy on the surface. You just click an option, your landlord gets paid, and then you pay the provider back. The big promise is that if you pay on time, that's step 4, it's all smooth sailing, maybe even with no extra fees. But the danger zone, the real catch, is that very last step. If you're late with your repayment, that's when the penalties and fees start to kick in. And that's the perfect lead-in to the other side of this coin. That feeling of easy credit is super appealing, for sure, but it often comes with these hidden dangers that you just don't see coming until it's way too late. Yeah, and this quote from our source material absolutely nails the central problem, doesn't it? We're all wired to look for that quick fix, that short-term comfort of solving a problem right now, and it's so easy to completely forget about the potential long-term consequences that are waiting for us down the road. And that's really the fundamental trade-off we're talking about here. On one side, you get that instant relief, a quick solution for a temporary cash crunch. But on the other side, whoa, you're risking late fees that can just snowball. You're flirting with the danger of depending on this every single month. And you could even damage your credit score, which makes it harder to get approved for real loans later on. So let's get specific, because the danger isn't just one big, scary thing. It's more like a series of little tripwires. First, there's the habit. What starts as a one-time emergency fix can quietly become a monthly crutch. Then you've got the debt cycle, where you might be juggling multiple pay later services at once. And maybe the sneakiest one of all is what our source calls a false sense of affordability, where this easy credit tricks you into thinking you can afford an apartment that's actually way outside your budget long-term. Okay, so we've seen the good and the not so good. So how do you actually make a smart decision for yourself? Let's dive into a practical checklist that'll help you decide wisely. All right, time for a little personal reality check. Is this a genuine, one-time, my car blew up kind of emergency? And are you 100% positive you can pay it back on schedule? If so, maybe it's a useful tool. But, and I really want you to hear this, if your income is unstable, if you already have trouble with debt, or if you haven't read every last word of the fine print, you should probably avoid it. It could take a tough spot and make it so much worse. And before you ever hit that confirm button, you need to be able to answer these 5 questions without even blinking. What's the total cost, including every single fee? What are the exact penalties if you're even one day late? And a huge one, will this affect your credit score? Taking just a few minutes to get these answers can literally save you from months of financial stress. But you know what? Maybe the best strategy isn't just about using credit wisely. It's about setting yourself up so you don't even need it in the first place. So let's explore some smarter, more sustainable ways to manage your rent. Now, these aren't quick fixes, okay? They're the real foundational habits for long-term financial health. We're talking about building a real budget that you actually stick to, creating an emergency fund that can cover your expenses for a month or two, and just being honest with yourself about what you can truly afford. These proactive steps are your absolute best defense against ever needing a short-term credit fix. And honestly, this is what it all boils down to. That solid, secure feeling you get from smart, consistent planning is always going to be more powerful and more reliable than the temporary high you get from quick credit every single time. So, in the end, where does that leave us? This buy now, pay later for rent thing, it isn't automatically good or automatically bad. It's just a tool. If you use it carefully, responsibly, for a true one-time emergency, it can be a total lifeline. But if you use it carelessly or it becomes a crutch for bad financial habits, it can turn into a trap really fast. The most crucial point to remember is that the power and all of the responsibility lies completely with you.